Now for a movie rant break, One Up presents a movie rant break.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Movie Rant Break. Back for another episode. Super stoked, super stoned. I got comic book artist Lee J. Giles back in the building.
What up? What up?
Hey! Today we are talking about the 1989 Batman movie. You and I have already reviewed the Dark Knight trilogy. Fairly well, I think. I thought those were good episodes and good conversations. Oh, you say it like you're...
I think looking back on it, like I was just saying before, like it's hard not to talk about one and then just be like, talk about 2 and 3. Even in Batman Begins, we probably talked about Rises and Return, like Dark Knight and
yeah. Well, yeah. In this case, I think we said we're just gonna try to keep it to Batman, not Batman Returns, because we got something brewing for that episode potentially. So. Yeah, that's what we're reviewing today. The Batman 1989 film with Michael Keaton. So let's get into it. Let me just bust down who was a part of the film. It was directed by Tim Burton. Screenplay by Sam Hamm, Warren Scarron. Story by Sam Hamm. It was based on DC Comics and Bob Kane's characters. Produced by John Peters, Peter Guber. Starring Jack Nicholson, Michael Keaton, Kim Basinger, Robert Wuhl, Pat Hingle, Billy D. Williams, Michael Gough, Jack Palance. Cinematography, Roger Pratt. Edited by Ray Lovejoy. Music by Danny Elfman. And Prince. Prince had 2 scores on there. Or not scores, songs, rather. That also went on his album, if I'm not mistaken. He did a bunch, but only 2 made it into the movie, which was interesting. Did you know Prince does the music in the movie, like when Joker is at the art gallery, and then also in the streets at the end, there's a Prince song that's playing. You can tell
of course. And also in the beginning of the movie, if he's only got 2 songs in it, they credit him for the music for the
Danny Elfman too.
Yeah, they call it, but that was like score, and then they're like music by Prince.
Which I hadn't seen this movie in so long. I was like, oh shit! I thought he did the score, but he doesn't. No. It's just Danny Elfman. Yeah. Shout out to Danny Elfman. He does great work.
It must be like the first superhero movie too that in the opening sequence where it starts out and you're almost like weaving in and out around the Batman insignia, and then like for them to like how many times that was copied afterwards, like
That's
that type
true.
of thing, like that was kind of the first one in a way.
It might be. So shout out to the person that did that intro. Yeah. That is a cool observation because I think it was probably one of the first.
Because then Sam Raimi does it in like the Spider-Man movies, and then they do it. Like
yeah, that was a good catch. The film was obviously a Warner Brothers film. It was released June 19th, 1989 in Los Angeles for some premiere. June 23rd, 1989 in the U.S. August 11th, 1989 in the U.K. Runtime of 126 minutes. Budget $48 million. Box office $411.6 million, which is astounding for 89. That's probably $1 billion. And at the time, rightfully so. I think if we're talking about this film, like brief breakdown of it, it's origin story of Batman. But how did you feel about where the film started?
I was thinking about that, and what I really liked about it, the beginning of, is like how low key they introduced like Bruce Wayne, kind of. Like they spend a lot of time with Joker's backstory, and then they're even introducing like they're giving the context for Knox and Vicky Vale, but you still haven't even met Bruce Wayne. There's just a clip in the beginning of him taking out the 2 guys, and like, but then they don't go back to him. Like they spend all this time with Joker, and then Knox. Like I thought it was really cool. He just like slips in the background kind of to like Vicky Vale, and then like when they're kind of talking shit about him at the museum part of his house. But,
I know he has a room just dedicated to like war culture.
Well, and too, they start off, and what they're starting off with echoes, his own origin. I thought that was kind of cool because, it had been kind of like a little minute before I had seen it for a while, and that could have been his origin. Him and his parents, like
At the beginning where the family can't get a taxi.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought it was Bruce Wayne
Yeah,
shit
exactly.
going on, and I thought it was a really strong misdirect because I also was like, oh, I was going to make the point that Bruce Wayne's family was killed because they couldn't get a taxi, but it was a cool misdirect.
That's what I was thinking too. My first thought was these rich ass people can't like like that
Useless. This
yeah.
guy's a billionaire. I know. I was confused too as far as the just how they were trying to paint the picture of the Waynes, but it wasn't the Waynes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rightfully so. So good
I
on Tim
think
Burton.
one criticism of Batman that's really funny is like they go see the movie and then they get robbed right after at Crime Alley. It's like, why did they go see one in such a bad neighborhood if they're rich? Like
They were just trying to they were trying to get some culture.
yeah.
So the way the film started misdirect, but I thought as far as the story was concerned, obviously this film's origin story, Batman, but they did it in the point where Batman kind of had come, he just got to fruition essentially, and he was trying to get clout to impact the city's criminals and deter them from doing crime, to cut his workload down, I guess. But I liked how it showed that part of Batman because it was kind of he's Batman and he's doing Batman shit. It didn't waste time with like
it didn't. But what's so crazy too? I was thinking that he's so well established. He's so good at it. You see, he's got the setup, all this stuff. But he's also just starting out. If you follow what everyone's saying, he's just starting out. No one really seen him before,
which is cool.
It is cool. What's also kind of cool and interesting, and like adds to the mystique of what should be. Batman should maybe always have a mystique. They never go into like his parents died. Okay, what happened between then and when he shows up at that party? It's like they don't go into it. Like his training, like.
I'm glad that for this film's purpose didn't.
Yeah.
Because like you said, they spend a lot of time developing other characters, almost mostly with Joker.
Yeah.
Which I liked because even though this is the first real Batman movie, they cut to the chase. Is that the right phrasing? Am I saying that right? They cut to the chase? Yeah.
Yeah,
like they were like, okay, we know Batman, we know Bruce Wayne. Here's these other characters to develop them because you kind of know enough about Batman. We don't need this fluffed up like.
Well, even when they go back to it, it's really a scene also about Joker because he killed his parents in this like iteration. Yeah. So it's like they're flashing back to that for his origin in this movie, but it also ties into exactly what's going on. Napier, like he did that, like.
Do you like that
aspect of it? Like
I like that.
Yeah.
So the story picks up where it's just Batman is just trying to be Batman, but there's no origin per se.
It's an interesting take on Joker that he is not just some petty thief, like a nobody anonymous person. He's a well-established business, like essentially illegal, but businessman. He's threatening the fucking lieutenants. And
he's a mobster.
Yeah, but he's high, like he's
number two,
and he's got influence and like.
And you don't get that with the other Joker depictions, in my opinion. And I will get more of that later, but I just tip of the cap. I think that's.
See, and like that, like his Jack Nicholson's Joker is almost the opposite of Heath Ledger's in a way, because Heath Ledger like pretends to be random but is calculated, where he is calculated but he's losing his mind. Like he does like real crazy shit that like in one instance, like he's hanging over the vat and Batman has him, and Batman's got him by one hand and he's gripping the pole with the other hand. Then he lets go. And they focus in on Michael Keaton's eyes, and he's like, it's like bewilderment, like what the fuck, like this guy's crazy. Like then there's other parts where he kills Bob like unceremoniously, kind of like they kind of go out of their way to be like he is, breaking in that way, like going crazy, I guess.
Yeah, and I like how in this film the Joker and the villain accomplishes his major plan in most of the ways. Like the city is fucked up. people are dying, people poisoned
in random products.
Imagine how ridiculously chaotic and much chaos that would breed in a city. And so I like how in this it shows how crazy and accomplished of a villain Joker is by executing his evil plot. Like, it does work.
In the newscast, they start the newscast and be like, these two famous supermodels are dead and they've been clearly Jokerized. And then she's like, and then in Gotham. So he killed two supermodels somewhere outside of Gotham just to like, you know, like,
and they're like his poster girls.
Yeah.
Which is like super twisted, which is just awesome. And he's
what's cool too, like watching this now, looking back on it. So this was 89. Then like 3 or 4 years later, they create Batman the animated series, and some characters started out like in that time period, like Harley Quinn, but then Joker has this weird girlfriend in this movie who's kind of like an early Harley Quinn, that girl that wears the mask.
Did she jump to her death? R.I.P.
Yeah,
she died. But yeah. But Vicky Vale was hot. Can we talk about that for a second?
Yeah,
Vicky Vale was super hot.
That's kind of
she's a baddie in that.
Yeah.
Do you think?
It's too bad she only stayed for the one movie, and I didn't like follow that.
Yeah, I didn't look through the backstory on that. Apologies.
A little bit of backstory is Tim Burton at the time didn't claim to not like make sequels, so he was like, I don't want the second one to be a direct sequel to the first. That's why, like, you also see they drop the Harvey Dent character, Two-Face, and he was a huge character in this movie. You know, he was like all through it.
Yeah, just as the attorney.
Yeah. Well, as the attorney, but then when like Joker's terrorizing the city, they're going to him for like quotes. Like the people are like, oh, what do you think? And he's like, like he's getting phone calls from like all around the city.
I think this film, it doesn't get enough credit. Like I find this film to be like extremely ambitious for 1989. I mean, it did a solid job considering they had a Batwing, which those effects and the models are a little, but I think it still holds up, and it almost feels stylistic when you watch it now.
Yeah, it's a lot comparative to like other ones. It's a lot more theatrical. Even how he is, like the act of he sleeps with Vicky Vale. She's sleeping. She wakes up. She looks over and he's hanging like a bat. Like
I like that.
I like it, but like the fact that he's so theatrical that he's like, I must be the bat. Like I must sleep.
I like it.
But when he's in the bat costume too, he is also kind of doing similar bat movements because he's holding his cape and then he moves his wings up and he's like, he is being theatrical while he doit. So it is.
He's like, I'm Batman, bitch. Yeah. And like he's trying to get clout, which I like in this film because it adds a human egotistical side to Batman that we don't really see, where he's like, bitch, I'm Batman. Like, and then it's sick because the Joker gets pissed off that Batman's getting all the publicity. So there's this funny dynamic because they're both clout chasing. And then it's a matter of who can actually, we have to fight this out because I am Batman, essentially. And the Joker's like, bitch, no, I'm the shit. You know, they're clout chasing the whole movie. Like, Joker breaks how many TVs because of the headlines that the Batman's getting. And, you know, Batman first scene, he's like, tell people about me. They're clout chasing. It's a clout. The original Batman film with Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson is a battle for clout. It's like straight up, which is amazing. I love that. But yeah, like the stylistic aspect, I think had me thinking while watching now, it holds up and is a really solid movie. And I don't think Tim Burton doesn't get enough credit for paving the way, not only for Christopher Nolan, but superhero movies in general. Because this is what the best superhero movie to date in 1989 and still holds up, and it's just done so much for that whole industry.
Yeah, before that, I mean, what was really out for superhero movies? Superman, and then all the TV stuff that like Marvel did to that point. I don't even think they had like the Hulk, you know, the other like real small shit they did.
But that's just like, no offense, it's ass. Like this is actually like kind of decent, and It really comes down to performances. It's not even the movie aspects, it's the performances are so good. And like that's a conversation point, right? Like we can just talk about this and get this out of the way. The ongoing conversation between dorks and nerds, right? In regards to Batman and Batman
Are
movies.
they different? The dorks and the nerds?
No.
What about the geeks?
Yeah, fuck the geeks. They're whack.
The geeks are quiet.
The geeks are quiet. The dork, yeah. I mean, and the geeks too. Sure. Yeah. You fucking just ruined my tirade. But yeah, the ongoing conversation between the nerds, the dorks, and the geeks. Thank you. Of like what Batman's better, who played Batman better, and like who's the better Joker and all this shit. Like, I think what separates the Michael Keaton Batman films from the Christian Bale Batman movies the most is the performances and the style than anything. You know, and like both franchises, great performances, but I mean, to be honest, it's more of a style thing.
Yeah.
Like this movie still holds up. Yeah, like okay, the models aren't that good or whatever, but the performances from Nicholson and Keaton and Vicky Vale and all these motherfuckers are still great performances.
Yeah, you know, I'm watching it. You know, Jack Nicholson's performance is easily on par with Heath Ledger's. Like,
absolutely. One
of the best parts was maybe when he first sees himself and it's shot from behind and he's a silhouette, but he's in the barber chair and he's just like he has the mirror and he's like like that was
fire scene.
There were a few scenes where he feels so crazy, like unpredictable because he's so fucking crazy. Like
so fun to watch.
Yeah,
so fun to watch.
It was good.
And like because we just reviewed the other ones not that long ago, and I'm glad that we're doing this because I can honestly say they're both stellar performances. Mm-hmm. Are the Christopher Nolan movies better? Yes. Not because of performances. And so when people want to go, Heath Ledger's the best Joker, I would say no, he's not. At the same time, if you watch Nicholson, like what he was able to do from an acting standpoint and performance standpoint and like what became of that and how it's been studied because it is so phenomenal. And shout out to the makeup people. The makeup, pretty good. The Blu-ray exposes some of the... But that's okay.
Yeah.
But the performance, bit in the style are the two things that I really want to be like, people, this is what's happening. It's a style disparity, difference. But performance-wise, like, you could say it's a tie. But, like, technically Nicholson paved the way. And his performance is still phenomenal. And I would actually, matter of fact, I'm going to change what I'm saying. I think Nicholson, to be clear, it's not a tie. Nicholson is the... Okay, this is how it's important this shit is. Nicholson, okay, wins versus Heath Ledger as the Joker because although both performances, phenomenal, Nicholson was way, way more closer to the source material of what the Joker is as a character in the comics. So that alone... Although performances you can say that the performances are tied. Mm-hmm. But Nicholson's character as the Joker is way more in line with the comics.
Yeah. I mean, the movies tend to like, you know, sometimes in Marvel too, they create their own like thing and then they start influencing the comics. And I think Heath Ledger's Joker did influence the comics that way as opposed to Jack Nicholson's like maybe influencing, you know, whatever the influence was from this movie when it came out on the comics. I mean,
wait, say it again.
You know, like Heath Ledger's was more of like an original kind of his own Joker, like
which is cool.
Yeah, that version didn't really exist, but that movie influenced the comics in that way, where Joker became kind of more like that, as opposed to the other one where the comics are influencing Jack Nicholson's version. You know,
but that like it starts with having a depiction of the original character first. Before you get off what the character is, you got to have the character first. And I think Jack Nicholson was the Joker. Like when you say he's the Joker, like he actually is the Joker. No one's probably will ever do what he did. Yeah. Like I think that's fair to say. And so thank him for. Now we can move on and get creative because he did the Bob Kane version. So great.
You know, I kind of one thing I was like that really got stuck in my brain like watching it was what like a clear influence like the Adam West Batman was to this Batman, and to me,
It was like, don't do this.
well, it was. I mean, it's just like it was to me like a Tim Burton version of Batman '66, which, like, even down to like, they did some like they showed a newspaper, and when they did it, it was on a spin, like it was, and it like zooms up, and that's what Batman, like they did that back then, and it kind of was it. It just felt like zanier. There was like more camp to it sometimes, like that worked in its benefit. So like when there were scary moments with the Joker, it was actually kind of scary because some of it's kind of campy, like.
And I think you got to get enough credit to the Joker, the character itself, and the people that have played him. Like it's supposed to make you feel uncomfortable. That's why most people that have played the Joker, it's.
Well, even Joker's look at like how they have Jack Nicholson as Joker in this. He looks a lot like the Joker from Joker's Batman '66, like Cesar Romero.
Closer to the comic.
Yeah,
like the purple suit and the
purple
makeup.
suit, but the green hair, basically like, kind of
Loud.
camped, like a clown, like, like wearing a coat with like a pea coat that has like, the straps on the end of the coat. You know what I mean? Like
The tails?
Yeah, the tails, yeah. But it's so funny. It's so funny too. Like it's so campy too. Like so he becomes Joker, and like not a lot of time passes like in this movie. It's like days or weeks, like where he becomes Joker, kills Grissom, his boss, starts. This all happens like within weeks.
It appears to be close in time.
But he's got a crew of henchmen with, embroidered jackets with his face. He's got a fleet of cars painted to his color scheme. Like
Legit.
the campiness of it was like that's the stuff that like in Batman it was just like you're just rolling with it. Like,
But that's the Joker though. The Joker allows for that, and that's why the Joker character is so special to so many people. Is you can get away with so much as long as you stay true to the character. And I think there's been a lot of great performances with people who play the Joker. I haven't seen the Adam West joint, but I'm sure that guy's. I've seen pictures of what it looks like, and he probably was good.
There's a Batman '66 movie. Can
I know.
review that
I know.
sometime?
We
It's
should.
pretty good. I've seen it. It's good.
All right, we'll do that. We'll do it for sure. Yeah. So the Joker is fucking awesome. And him staying true to his character type shit, where he does the pranks. He goes and destroys the art gallery or whatever. He's got the buzzer handshake thing. He's got the gun that shoots the flag that says "bang" on it. There's so many Joker-esque gadgets, I guess, or Joker gadgets that you don't really see in Nolan's at all, which is fine because the tone is completely different. But it was fun to see almost a well-executed depiction of the Joker using his gadgets. It was like
that's
the
what
guy.
I mean. Like they're unabashedly doing crazy shit that makes no sense. But like he's got a goon of people. Like, he's got a whole squad of people, and like they're fucking crazy too. Like they're down with like.
Would you not rock with the Joker? Like he's got shit going on.
I would up until the point where it's like you just killed Bob. Like Bob had your back.
Okay, so let's talk about Bob, because I thought there was something interesting. Like you could say, "Oh, fuck that character" because he's plot armor, saving the Joker, right? Because I hate plot armor in movies. It's obnoxious. In this, it works because check it. I don't know if you noticed this, but Bob always saves the Joker or Jack the whole movie. But after he kills him, then he dies. It's because Bob wasn't there to save him. And I didn't know if... Is that character in the comics, Bob?
I don't believe he was previously. I don't know. Okay. Like I said, they add him afterwards. Like,
because was it Bob Kane? Was it like tip of the cap to Bob Kane?
I mean, it could have been, yeah.
But
they added a lot of characters that like Grissom, like Carmine Falcone had always been part of like the Batman mythos, so they could easily been Carmine Falcone that the Joker worked for, who's been in like he was in Nolan's.
Yeah, I like how it was Grissom though.
Yeah,
especially now that you've seen all these depictions with recurring names like Falcone and shit like that, and you're just like, all right, like we get it.
Yeah.
What'd you think of him his name was Jack.
Mm-hmm.
Is Jack Napier or something like that? He's some gangster that. Is it have some correlation with Red Hood's character or something like that? Sorry for the people that don't know comics.
Not. I mean, not. I mean, not the Jack Napier thing. I honestly think. I mean, I could be wrong, but previous to that, the Jack Napier thing, I think they created that for the movie.
Okay, did you not like it or?
No, like I said, now that we have like other iterations, like it is cool to kind of know who he is, but it is also kind of, I was thinking about that. I was like, it's cool to have these different depictions, because then you see one that's like so secretive. The mystique works in his favor. Heath Ledger, you don't, like, he tells his origin, it's different every time, so we don't really know anything about him ever.
Yeah.
But this Joker, we know everything about. Batman pulls out his file at some point and they read his whole like rap sheet.
I liked it.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah,
especially because
they did. I do remember a comic though. Eventually, years later, by a main guy, Sean Gordon Murphy. He added the Jack Napier back to it and like developed that. He brought that to like the comics. I think he was the first person that did that. I don't know. But he's a local Maine person too.
Oh, shout out to him. Did you think that Bruce Wayne took advantage of Vicky Vale when she was drunk? I just want to get that out of the way. You don't think so? She's like, I'm so drunk and you're not. And he's like, well, let's go fuck. And she's like,
no, I mean, you don't feel that they were already kind of flirting at the when they first met.
She just
You know what I really liked about that Bruce Wayne, like the way he was portrayed here, is like he's not smooth, but he is he's an oddball. He's a strange guy. Like he's just like more like a vampire. He's like just. More,
I mean, he's a bat.
Yeah.
Which Michael Keaton killed it. Okay, so we could talk about the separation between Michael Keaton and Christian Bale. Same thing, like stylistically different. Performances, I think, equally as good. I think I personally, they offer different things. People say, oh, the new Batman, he's actually a detective. Well, in this movie, he's a detective too. And all of them, he's a detective. Christian Bale is like a playboy, like essentially. You know what I mean? And Michael Keaton's kind of like nerdy, but they all have their detective gadgets and do detective type shit.
He was doing like very theatrical detective work, because like he pulls out the file and he just like he's reading all the information until something like part of the information like sparks an idea in them, like a detective, but like a detective in a play where it's just like he has an epiphany. Like,
well, he also is the one that solves the issue with the poison goods that Joker had plagued with the industry.
Oh, right. That's what it is.
So like Batman figured this out. So like when people are like, oh, detective this, detective that, he solved the problem with his detective skills. So people can shut up about the whole, he's the new Batman, he's actually a detective. He's just more detective-y. But he's in most movies he's very detective-ish. Remember in with Christian Bale with the bullet that shoots, which is a little extra. He does all the little finding fragments of the bullet thing, and there's other shit too. But I'm just saying, like, that just came to mind.
What's cool? Yeah, like, so. There's one. This Alfred is probably like my least favorite Alfred, because he's more of like a straight up butler, or at least that's how he's portrayed. And then there's one part where like Bruce turns to him and he's like, I need this like information, like go get wherever he went to get it. Like, it doesn't go into it. Like, Alfred just like, I got that info, and he throws him like the folder, and it's like, where'd he get it? The
folder was next to him on a table. He's like, it's on your table, and he's like, oh, it's right there. Well, and then from that scene, since we're jumping there, he just goes and gets Vicky Vale and is like, yeah, he's Batman. But no one's talking about that, how Alfred blew his cover with Vicky Vale.
Yeah, well, because this Alfred didn't want him to be Batman. So like, but Alfred's
this Alfred, he's in all four of the Batmans.
That's interesting, because I was thinking about that. Like they, is Val Kilmer that Batman? Is that the same universe?
Sure, allegedly, but
but now that the Flash came out, they're trying to be like, those are different universes. Like,
whatever, I don't care.
Yeah,
but that Alfred, he's in the 4 movies, and so is Commissioner Gordon. I think those are the only 2 characters that are in all 4.
That's my least favorite Gordon too. I just like.
I like it because he's more like sloppy.
He's adult.
he's.
See, and even that Gordon is kind of based on the Batman 66 because he's not like Batman almost exists in those because they're so bumbling. Like they're not like also really good detectives. Like they're like, we need your help. Like we can't figure this out. We can't figure this riddle out. Like,
which I fuck with because it's probably there's some truth to that.
Yeah,
like,
but see that worked like before the internet. So now like you see a riddle, it's like let's Google this riddle. You know, like
I know
we got it.
The technology in this film that's supposed to be technology, it's funny to watch.
I like how like kind of timeless it is. It's like clearly taking place in the 80s, but it's like almost in the 70s too. Like there are parts of town that like just look so gothic and like old kind of.
It would make sense if they were trying to do that being it was 89. They were trying to have like an older.
I feel like some aesthetically ways they were trying to match the Christopher Reeve Superman. Like
I'm not familiar enough to make that distinction. Yeah, those always just seem played out to me.
Yeah.
Or do you think those original ones are good or what?
I mean, good for their time.
See, the big thing, and I've said this before, is I just don't think Superman's that cool.
Yeah. They never up until, even Man of Steel, it's like they've always treaded the same ground with it. They all kind of have with Batman too. Like, they always go, retelling the same story.
Same pocket.
How many times do we need like a we got Robin for one movie, like, why not go into this other like group of characters? Like
that's why the Nolan's trilogy gets so much acclaim because they did at the end give a tip to Robin. Well, he could have been Red Hood. I guess he was Robin.
Why there was no fourth movie follow up? That like
it was a trilogy.
Yeah, they
didn't want to make it a saga.
I think like for some reason Boneheads like get into producing where they just like, we're going to make these several assumptions of what we think an audience wants or like what they can consume,
Well,
like,
the other thing too is the people who are part of the film might want to move on. Like think about it. Like that was like an 8-year period where it's like Batman. It's like, I'm done working on Batman. Like think about with like a comic or like an album. It's like, I don't want to keep making this same album.
Think of it as like Bond where, okay, Christopher Nolan leaves. So maybe Joseph Gordon-Levitt does it with, Justin Lin.
No. Who's Justin
Lin? He made like the Fast and Furious movies. Like, take a wildly different director, other than like don't get a Christopher Nolan like knockoff or copy. Like go a different way, Yeah,
it's
the guy who made Smokin' Aces. Like just make like a crazy nonstop like action movie.
It's tough too because sometimes fans there is fatigue.
Yeah.
Like, cause you do that fourth, and people are like, "We really didn't want this. We thought we wanted it, but we don't."
Well, it's a fourth, but you kind of make it's like it's a fourth, but it's a new number one, kind of.
That's murky waters.
Yeah.
You know how it be.
Yeah.
I like in the beginning ish when he escapes. He's in Axis Chemicals. He uses a smoke bomb.
Yeah. And then you still see him.
Yeah, it was so. The smoke bomb was unnecessary.
It's so theatrical, where it's just like you in a play. You're like you almost have to pretend like we didn't.
That would be
like,
that was I get you. Yeah, for sure.
They could easily still taken a couple shots at him if they wanted to.
It was 100% comical. I was like, this is ridiculous. 100%.
Where they spent so much time on Harvey Dent. They almost should have went there and have him get acid in the face in this movie. I was thinking, like,
you're getting greedy.
And just leave it. And just leave it there.
You get greedy.
And just leave it
at
there.
The end. If they still had bonus credit scenes, there would be, or like had him back then rather. that would be the. That would be the.
I also think like, so, Kim Basinger should have been like that should have ended up being Catwoman in some way. She could have easily worked for Shrek in like this in the second like
Shrek. What do you mean Shrek?
Michelle Pfeiffer's boss.
Oh, I haven't seen that one in so long.
Oh well, the Catwoman.
Catwoman. Yeah, of course.
The fact that she didn't become Catwoman. You know what? One character I didn't care for is Knox. But I see his role because you can't make. I guess you could make Vicky Vale the sleuth and the photographer. But like having the two to play off each other serves a purpose story wise, kind of. But I do not like that actor. I don't know that actor's name.
He's just kind of a weasel.
Yeah, Arliss. I never saw that shit. Like,
I'm not familiar.
it was his popular. He had a popular HBO show. Like,
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
He just is kind of like a little smug, obnoxious weasel
Yeah.
type. I don't know. You mess with us?
Yeah.
How'd you feel about the set design?
I think it was awesome, man, and it's crazy how much influence this then had over some, like, think about, like, you ever see the Batman animated series?
Of course. Yeah.
Easily. I mean, if you look at their building design, they're trying to do what they did in this movie, where it's just like Gotham is like, you know, crazy old Gothic look, like the church.
I think
like,
Gothic is like a good word to describe it.
Tim Burton-ist.
Yeah, it's like I don't want to say comic-y, but yeah, it's like Tim Burton kind of. I don't know if you can coin that whole style.
I think Tim Burton too. It's a ways like him doing that paved the way for eventually them trying to think getting Zack Snyder to do the movies was a good idea, because they hired Zack Snyder fully knowing what his movies were, what they're like. They weren't different than what he'd made before, but it's such a distinct vision, like Tim Burton kind of. You know what I mean? Like,
But they're good directors. They make good films.
Yeah.
I mean, say what
Yeah.
you say about Zack Snyder. He's still a capable director. Like
Yeah.
if I was making a movie and he was the director, like I mean, granted, I would have notes. You know, we co-direct, but I would let him, steer the ship mostly because he definitely is capable.
yeah, Batman vs Superman. I think that's like,
Ass.
I think it's like
Ass.
there is some good stuff that had they changed it slightly, like comparative to this movie. In this movie, there's not points where I was just like, I'm bored by what I'm watching right here. Like, this is boring. There are parts like that in Batman vs Superman where they're like doing the espionage in Lex Luthor's basement. They all take turns going down to the basement at some point in Batman Superman.
It was dumb.
Or even in the Nolan ones, Batman Begins, or Dark Knight, or Rises. Like, there's parts where it's just like, God damn, like this is like brutal to watch. Like, I like things so drawn out, I guess. Is what
I just
mean.
don't like that. I don't even want to like talk about that movie. I don't like it. like that. Like that's how I just don't like it.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's such a waste of like $250 million or the fuck. It's just like when I was like, really, this is what you're spending this much money on? Be better.
Did you see Ben Affleck was talking shit about it? He's now coming up being like, it wasn't the best. Now I'm ready to admit it was.
He's just now figuring it out. Good job.
Well, I think he's ready now to like, say it aloud.
Well, he should after that performance at Tom Brady's roast. Did you see that shit?
No.
God, everyone did great. He's the only one that bombed.
I did not realize he even tried to roast.
He was a surprise guest, and it was like shameful. I'm sorry, dude. It was shameful. Anyways, yeah, set design. I thought high def. I mean, no, it looked good on high def. Some of it was a little, I don't want to say cheap, but a little set like. But that's okay. Yeah. I thought the special effects overall, like I said, was more of a stylistic situation than anything. I mean, there was a part in the beginning of the film where it's an aerial view of a Batman on top of a building. You could, with high def, you could easily tell it's computer graphics.
Animated. Yeah.
It's bad. Yeah. But like, and the models, like I said, the Batwing crashing, you're like, holy model, holy model, Batman. But it was okay because that was my biggest takeaway with this film was a stylistic legacy with a bunch of good performances, great performances. Yeah. I did like how there was this like parallel with the standoff scene that Joker and Batman have, and in this film it's Batman in a Batwing firing at Joker, trying to kill him. He's just a bad shot. And Joker one pieces the Batwing and it crashes. But it was, I think Christopher Nolan tried to mimic that scene when in The Dark Knight, Batman's on the bike and Joker's got the Tommy gun shooting at him. But Batman can't commit and kill him there and would have saved many lives. But in this film, Michael Keaton Batman, he's trying to kill Joker. He's like, Gatling guns, like machine guns, torpedoes, and Joker doesn't die. And then, like I said, Joker shoots him down. But just the parallel of the two scenes, or the scene mimicked rather, was a cool correlation because he definitely did it on purpose, which I thought was cool. It makes me like The Dark Knight more because they paid homage in that sense. But that's another reason why I think Michael Keaton Batman cool too, because he kills people in this movie. And he tries to kill Joker with machine guns, which is fucking dope. He's a cool Batman. Like all these other Batmans are all like self-righteous. Like this Batman's like clout chasing. He's trying to shoot motherfuckers. He's solving crimes, saving the city like full scale. Michael Keaton Batman should not be slept on, and is arguably the best.
And he just started like in his world, so he just became Batman. So it's like, what the fuck was he doing?
He was ready.
Yeah,
he was fucking ready. Yo, and his Batmobile is the coolest Batmobile of all.
Yeah,
right here.
There's a lot that's like not practical. Like it turns so bad that he needs that hook to take a turn. You know what I mean? Like,
did he throw a hook? No, he didn't throw a hook.
Yeah, he had to throw a hook just to take the turn.
Did I miss? How did I miss that part? I like the armor shit. It was kind of sick. He's like, armor, engage.
It's funny he got stuck in a traffic jam. He's like, oh, let's go. Like,
I thought that was realistic. He was like, what? You know, he's like, we need to leave, like, armor.
Yeah,
and then he dipped out.
Instead of like crashing through it like the tumbler in like Batman Begins.
Or like in movies, like in the Batman Begins, which we talked about, check that episode, where he's going from building top to building top in the Batmobile. Like they could have made a jump or some stupid shit in this, but they kept it modest. And it was dope because he's like, bitch, we're rolling. And they just left the Batmobile chilling. So the Batmobile, I think, is cooler, and the 1989 Batman is the best Batmobile.
Yeah.
I really fuck with the Batsuit in this one, too. I think, although yellow in the logo is impractical, is cool and iconic.
Yeah. It's like the most, because in this one, they kind of try to hide it more. Like, it's like, he's covered in shadow more, so like, and that works in its benefit.
It does, because he kind of hides his bottom half of his face, which in a lot of Batmans, I think most of them, they don't. In this one, you could tell when Vicky Vale's around him, he's like trying to stay in the shadows, because she's like, she got to know my mouth. Because that's a problem I have with some, I think we've talked about it, where like, you would know.
Yeah.
If you knew the person, you would know.
And she just slept with them.
So yeah, so him hiding in the shadows was sick. He's like, bitch, like, you gonna remember these lips? That's so funny. He also, so Nicholson was 52, Ledger was 28 when they played the Joker roles, and then Keaton was 37 and Christian Bale was 31. And I think across the board, you could say like Nicholson and Keaton are equally or are better than the Ledger Bale combo. Like, and I don't, in a sense, I don't think it's Ty Bale Ledger. I think it's either Ty or Nicholson Keaton. Like, choose your two. You know what I mean? So it's leaning towards the Keaton Nicholson on performance wise, especially like yeah. There's just.
Oh yeah.
I feel like that. Will you stand by me on that one? Because I feel like that makes sense.
I feel like Robert Pattinson hasn't really,
He's not, no.
One movie's kind of hard to like, but they are both better than Ben Affleck. But
yeah. I honestly, the Ben Affleck situation, like him in the Batsuit, actually wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Him as Bruce Wayne, it's just like Ben Affleck. Not to say he's doing a bad job. It's just he's almost too famous. His face is too famous or something. I don't know. You're just like, that's Ben Affleck. Like, he can't be Bruce Wayne. He's not. I guess, hear me out. Ben Affleck is not good enough actor to pull off that's not Ben Affleck.
Then who should have been Batman in the Zack Snyder movies?
Do you understand the point that I made? Does that make sense? Like, he's too, like, okay. I just want to make sure I'm clear.
Should they have gone with an unknown? I feel like they did that because they're introducing him, so he instantly has to, like, you have to have enough interest in this new iteration as you do in Cavell from the having a whole first movie. Yeah. That's my accent.
That's not accent. I think it's the drugs talking. No, let me think. I think going with unfamiliar is
because Josh Brolin almost played Batman in that.
That would be a good one.
Yeah, it would have been bad.
And at the time, that's pre-Thanos. So that would have worked. That probably would have been the move.
Or maybe it was also the guy who plays Negan from Walking Dead also.
He could be good. He's had to change his voice up.
Oh, no, he played the dad. That's what I'm thinking of. He played Bruce Wayne's dad in the flashback. They do a flashback montage of Batman's origin.
Which one?
In the Zack Snyder.
I don't know. Negan is?
Yeah. He plays...
You know who Negan is?
Thomas Wayne. Yeah, from Walking Dead.
Yeah. Negan?
Yeah.
Negan? I don't recall. I didn't know him as Negan yet. If he's in the Batman vs Superman bullshit, as in a flashback.
Oh yeah, he is.
Oh, I don't recall.
He played Thomas Wayne.
I just told you how much I hated that.
Oh well.
And I didn't want to fucking talk about
You
it.
could come around to it. You don't know.
No. I mean, I don't know.
Did you watch the Zack Snyder Justice League? It was good.
Yeah,
It's
no, I liked it better.
a whole other different experience.
I did another
kinda.
review on it.
Yeah.
You
did?
Yeah.
Huh, I'll have to check it out.
No, the first Justice League actually is in the first 10 episodes. So it was when I used to do like really short monologues, like under 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. Very general.
With a different setup too, kind of like other than.
I didn't film it then.
Oh, it's just
it was the
audio?
first 10 episodes. It was like episode 7 is the first Justice League. And then the Snyder Cut came out and I did a separate review and John Smith was on it.
Sure.
And the consensus was we both thought it was an improvement.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it because the first one was just on the same level of Batman vs Superman, which is not good to me.
Yeah. But
yes, there's a parallel. Another thing that I thought Christopher Nolan did on purpose at the end of both The Dark Knight and the original Batman, or the 1989 Batman, the Joker at the end of the film was hanging from something, which I thought was a cool parallel.
Well, I did just read something about like Christopher Nolan tried to, whatever scenarios they had in that, they tried to like pull it from some kind of reference. So maybe they did directly like reference it in that way.
Yeah, in the 1989 Batman film.
And they're both the climax, right? Like
at the very, yeah. So it's like end of Act 3 type shit, I think is how they classify that, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Nicholson's Joker's hanging from a ladder from a helicopter and a building, and then
lets him die, and then
he was Batman was struggling. He was like, "Oh, good, he fell," like because I couldn't handle that anymore. And then in the Christopher Nolan joint, the Joker's hanging with like a wire, Batman's gadget around his fucking leg or whatever, hanging. But they're both.
But
hanging.
he left him alive after killing.
They both don't kill Joker, which I think is dope.
Yeah, I don't know. He kind of didn't have a hand in killing him.
No, yes, obviously, because he's there, but like, he didn't play a part.
I feel like he got to the line where he's like, okay, I gotta kill this guy, and he killed him.
Michael Keaton?
Yeah.
He like was gonna die. Like Joker had him.
Yeah.
And then he didn't because Joker was fleeing. But Joker shouldn't have fled.
Would
He shouldn't have fled.
Would a righteous hero die over taking a life? Maybe.
Would a righteous hero die?
As opposed to take it, like if he's like, okay, now I'm in a situation where it's me or him, but I don't kill morally.
That's so stupid. When you're facing people like the Joker, I mean, shit.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's what I'm saying. This Batman did kill. He threw a dude out the top of through the middle of the building of the bell tower or the church. Yeah. That dude was killed by Batman's hands.
Yeah. But he could have let Jack Napier go. Originally, he was trying to save him.
When they're at Axis Chemical.
Yeah, in the beginning. When he falls in the vat. That's what I'm saying. Joker was like, he started letting go. He was like, he didn't want to be helped up by Batman, almost. Like,
trying to think when he falls in the shit.
Mm-hmm.
He did kind of... Oh, he blocks a bullet and it hits the boiler or whatever the fuck machinery, and it shoots glass or something on his face, and
he falls backwards over, like, because they're on like a catwalk, and Batman grabs him, and he's got him. Batman's got him with his two hands, and Joker's one hand, and then Joker's other hand's holding a bar, and Joker purposely lets go, and then it zooms in on Keaton's face, and he's like, "What the fuck?" And then he lets go and falls in the fucking acid. But he does other stuff that's just like, he's nuts. Like, but then like Batman reads the file and is like, sociopathic, like fucking all this shit from 15. He was like killing, he's killing animals. I don't forget what his history was, but it started young. He was like sociopathic from young.
Well, Batman's killing people was the point. Like,
he's got
out
to.
Here.
Yeah.
I mean,
the Gordon in that movie wasn't like a real cop. He could have been corrupt. He like in one part, what's a funny part when they're at like a Casino or like Gordon. There's a scene Gordon's rolling dice and Harvey Dent's behind him like smoking cigars and like they're like it's like these are the cops like and they're at a casino in suits gambling and like
I thought it was cool.
yeah, it was cool. It was just a different take on it all, kind of.
Yeah, I feel like it was a more honest take on society, although hyperbolic or whatever, and satirical and campy. There was more honesty in the actual characters themselves.
Oh yeah, it plays more to the idea that they always try to present. It's like Batman's a loner, but in this one he was a loner. He didn't work with Gordon. He didn't like.
But he still threw parties, which is sick.
Yeah, but that was part of his like.
Bruce Wayne always does though, I guess.
Yeah.
Bruce Wayne's a G.
Yeah, but he could have like so Vicky Vale's like looking for him in the beginning and she's asking, you know who Bruce Wayne is? He could have been like, I'm Bruce Wayne, but he's like, I don't know. And he walked off.
I thought that was dope.
Yeah, it is. He's
slick.
just like a strange guy. Yeah, like
He's like, who is this bitch? I don't know who he is. Maybe.
yeah,
You want to know a fun fact about the film?
yeah.
So allegedly, Mel Gibson was originally the one sought after to play Batman, but was allegedly busy for Lethal Weapon 2. That's what I had read.
Well, I've heard before Ray Liotta was like offered to do it, some kind of role, but he turned it down. Maybe he could have been a good alternative Joker to Jack Nicholson if that didn't work out.
I don't know if he could do that kind of.
I also read Harrison Ford. I don't know what role. That doesn't mean necessarily Batman. But
in '89, like he could have been an older Batman.
Yeah.
Probably not though.
You know, it's funny too. Like I read that, and like there's the scene where Batman squares up with like members of the gang, and then there's like a Raiders of the Lost Ark scene where a ninja drops with two swords, and he starts like clanging around and like doing all this thing, and Batman's like, what? And then he just like drop kicks him.
Talking about the movie, right?
Yeah.
The ninja shit. Yeah.
Yeah, just similar to Indiana Jones when that guy pulls out the sword and goes, and he just shoots him and like.
Yeah, it's gangster shit.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's cool. So Mel Gibson, would you?
Yeah, that'd have been different.
You might be able. Some of these people can't be Batman.
Yeah,
you're like, oh, they could maybe like Ben Affleck was. It could be way worse. Like
I think there was some kind of uproar about Michael Keaton being Batman.
There always is. There always is.
There always.
But then it's like if you fail, like Ben Affleck, it's just. But that it could have been a lot worse. Like he's not the worst possibility. Another fun fact. So this is alleged. Jack Nicholson made $6 million up front to do the movie, which in '89 is pretty substantial. But he did some back end deal where he'd get money from profits and merch that equaled over $60 million. So he made out extremely well, and I think that situation played an impact and paved the way for a lot of other people, like say Robert Downey Jr. and stuff like that, taking back end deals because the dividends are crazy if you execute the movie well. Like Nicholson did with this, making $60 million in Batman, which is fucking a lot.
Yeah.
In '89, that's. Do you have fun facts about this film?
None that are exclusive to this film, I guess. I think it's cool that Michael Keaton showed up in the Flash movie. I don't think the Flash movie is as bad as like.
I liked it. I mean, relatively.
I think I forget what we were talking about earlier, but sometimes movies are like kiboshed.
What's that mean?
Where they're just like we just saw like Warner Brothers like Batgirl's almost done, and a couple other movies. But what we're gonna do instead of spending the money to like market them and put them out, we're gonna take them as a tax write off. You know about all that stuff, like. So they canceled the Batgirl movie. That was all done. It just needed like After Effects, but they did it so they could get
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. Actually, I think it's like public record because they took it as a tax write-off. Yeah,
allegedly.
But like, so they get to a point where they had to put the Flash movie out because of like whatever reason, all the stuff that was going on with the Flash kid,
Oh yeah, that actor.
Yeah. So they didn't want that movie to be good. That's why the effects are so fucking bad in that movie.
I don't even know if I noticed it, to be honest. People were pissed about it. I didn't.
Well, that's what I was just saying to somebody the other day. I was like, well, I watched sci-fi shows in the 90s, so I'm really used to really bad effects. Like, this is nothing. This is like a good video game effect. Like, it's not bad. Like,
I'd have to double check on that, but I don't remember it being disruptive to the point where I was like, what the fuck?
some movies have so many effects you gotta like accept on some level. It's like it's
No, I feel you. What would you give for a score for? Actually, before we do that, quick question, not regarding Batman. So to preface, saturation of. We're going to Marvel for a second before we wrap the episode up. If you
Can
don't
I borrow
mind.
your lighter?
Yes. So most people, I think, can agree that Marvel is in a not so good place. It's been, yeah. I mean, some things are adequate. A lot of things have been subpar and a disservice to some of the things that came before it. So having disappointments of that franchise, unfortunately, with the MCU, I haven't really been interested in what's coming out. A lot of stuff seems stagnant, stale. But I did see a trailer that I thought looked interesting, and I wanted your thoughts. I saw the Fantastic Four trailer, and it actually looked good. And I kind of want to go see it. How did the trailer, which surprised me because Marvel's been putting out ass.
Yeah.
So after seeing the trailer, I was like, I kind of want to see that.
Yeah. I think it looks really good. I'm interested to see how it ties in with like, so they come from a parallel universe.
In the future,
No, they come from the past. So
I don't want to hear more details, like, because I want to be surprised, kind of.
Well, it's in the trailer.
Okay, so I didn't pick up on it, but I try not to get too involved.
Okay.
But it seemed futuristic, but like, it might be that it's not the future.
It's in the past.
It's in the past.
Yeah.
Okay. But in a parallel, maybe it ends the parallel nonsense, which would be like,
Because they're saying,
redeeming.
I mean, who knows how true some things are, but like they say Robert Downey Jr., Doom is the Fantastic Four villain. So like they're saying he's their Doom or something. Maybe that's not true. Maybe that is. I mean, who knows till this stuff comes out, but I think it looks really good. One thing with Marvel, where the people say this phase was like phase 4 and 5 were like not good. I think the major problem was why, when you're starting it up, why knock out the first 3 Iron Man movies like that? Like, why not? They did a bad job of like building out a universe, before like, okay, Iron Man, now he's cashed out. And now it's like they should have like intermingled the waves better before, like, I don't know.
At what point do you feel like they stopped doing a good job?
I mean, with that, right off the bat, they go Iron Man 1, Captain America 1, Thor 1, Avengers, Iron Man 2, Cap 2, 3.
Are you saying they did it well?
No, I think no, they did the opposite. They should have like, they should have started incorporating like other characters earlier, like some of the Phase 4 stuff. Like imagine like some of the stuff being introduced earlier, where it can be introduced under like Tony Stark still being alive. So you meet Shang-Chi while he's still able to act with Robert Downey Jr. because Iron Man 3 hasn't quite happened yet. Like
They were focused on one arc, it seemed.
Yeah.
And then their foresight on that was bad.
Yeah.
But I think for the Thanos arc, they did a really solid job with integration of characters. But yeah, when the next part came, like part 2, if you will, they fucked it up. Because they were just stuck on part 1. They're like, this part 1, this part, and they did a good job with it. And they ruined cinema in some regards because it destroyed the box office for so long that other movies couldn't do shit. But now it seems there's a change happening. Marvel went down. Disney was dying, losing tons of. They're trying to make a comeback, and I hope they do. Like, I want good movies, you know what I mean? But they did some damage, and shit's been ass. I think after the Thanos arc, I think they did a really good job with that arc. But yeah, if you're saying like where they're at now, like, yeah, they fucked up and they should have done it differently. But for the Thanos arc, they killed it. You could say perfection on some regard. I don't think the movies are perfect, but just the flushing out for the main Avenger squad, leading with the first villain being like Thanos and all this shit, and it was a good job.
Yeah, and for real, also during like Phase 4 either begins or like right in the beginning of Phase 4, COVID happens and they shut down everything for like, and then when they still came back, it still was, you know, like they were making Falcon and WandaVision, like those shows at that point. But they had to film it in COVID style, which was like different, which altered it kind of, you know. It wasn't
the energy was off.
Yeah, so it did have an effect. And then they start, for the first time, having to deal with shit like that guy getting, the Kang getting in trouble, having to like alter, like.
I heard they're bringing him back because they're like.
I hope they do because.
I heard it was on some fuck shit anyways. It wasn't even a big deal, but.
You know, like. I don't see how he's any more of a guilty party than the lady because of the stuff that the video I've seen where she's like imprisoning him, kind of like.
What do you mean imprisoning?
When someone holds you in place, like if someone were to hold you like in a corner and be like, "You're not going anywhere," and you're like, "No, I'm leaving right now."
Not in prison, and just like.
You know, that's what they would call, like a cop would call it, or they're taking you hostage, kind of like.
Well, no, it's
imprisoning or
no, it's not imprisoning. Like not sustain. Restraint.
Yeah.
Restraining someone. Yeah. That's what the cops do. They do. Anyways, so yeah.
Mic drop.
No, definitely not. Not deserving of that. Fantastic Four trailer that looks interesting.
Looks really good. I don't know if you have Disney Plus, but Daredevil's been pretty good.
No.
I think it's a real good idea of them to finally incorporate the Netflix things, because that was like one thing that like stuck with me with Endgame, where, you know, like what I wanted to see was all those guys come out of those portals at the end, just like how it happened. But then I want to see also Nick Fury on a fucking helicarrier flying in, and the Netflix guys, Defenders, coming in together being like, "We're here too, motherfucker." And it's like, but they say like, like if you were to Google anything about that, and like the screenwriters, they're like, that would have been too, because they've been asked that question and they're like, that would have been too much. And it's like, you should not assume that for us. That's crazy. Like,
well,
you hear a lot of that. So like Smallville ran for years as the Nolan movies or Batman movies were coming out. So they're like, we want Bruce Wayne to be on Smallville. They talked about it for years and they were never allowed it because they were like, we've got the Christopher Nolan movies. Having two Bruce Waynes, that would confuse people and it would ruin everything. It's like, that is the dumbest shit. That
I don't think Nolan's shit should have been in Smallville. Fuck that.
No. But it's not the same universe. Like you know,
they could
what I
have
mean?
Batman
like,
in it, but it shouldn't be.
Yeah, it doesn't need to connect. You clearly make it like its own thing.
Yeah,
like
so
it's like no, exactly. So are we saying that the Smallville that's Clark in the Nolan universe? No way. No one fucking assumes that. No one. Like you know, like
fuck no.
No.
Smallville's too small. Okay, so you got your comic, got a proof of it here today. Mm-hmm. Can we see, like, we've talked about the comic, it's been a lot of...
So, you know, as you know, like, you know, when you're in the middle of making something, you get into momentum, so it's like coming out of you. But when you're like starting something, you gotta like, you work on the foundation, like kind of more. So like issue 1 took us a while to like, you know, fucking around with it and like
dial it in and shit. So yeah, tell the people what are we looking at here?
Experiments issue 1.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's kind of like you know, it's a team. Ultimately, it's a team book, even though it's
team as in
superhero team or super powered team, super abilitied people. Kind of in our universe. I don't know if it's like something that we're going to reveal or it's revealed right from the jump, but in this universe, every single superhero's it tracks back to like a mad scientist. You know, that's
I thought it was an asteroid dropping.
That's the movie.
The movie. Oh, word. Because I like the asteroid thing.
Yeah, so that's gonna be the movie.
So this is all the. So that makes sense. With the comic is called The Experiments, and the origin stories all trace back to a mad scientist being an experiment. Type shit. Makes sense. I fuck with that.
Like a Dr. Frankenstein creates. This is him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Episode 1.
Yeah.
Show the people. What's good with it? Oh shit, that's cool. This black chick's naked.
Yeah, it's an adult comic.
There's some butt cheeks.
There's only a
There's
naked.
some people tied up. Oh shit, this shit's lit. Hold on, check it out. Check it out, peoples. That's lit.
Yeah, she was in like a stasis tube.
Oh,
She's a psychic.
This is you got like this is fire. Oh, the time like he's got these dogs with like these looks like bear trap like armor.
Yeah, they're all kind of different.
That shit's fire. Okay. Butt cheeks over here. These motherfuckers are tied up. Do we have a deal? I thought so. No, let me go over my mission's assets. This shit's fire.
So yeah, that's like a proof. Issue one, this, and issue 0, which is like a secret files, which is just like they're both on digital sale right now. This one I should have physical copies like soon. And
okay, good. So I can put like the link to buy this comic.
Yeah,
swag.
Digitally, and then hopefully, I told Corey, I was like, we got to do pre-sales.
Shout out to Corey. He's the
writer, and he kind of created a lot of it. He created it and also started to draw it, but then kind of like he at the same time was launching the comic company and starting a ton of other projects. So when we talked about me doing it, he kind of I took his ideas and like I filtered it through my brain, and like so he wrote like a 50-page issue, and now that I drew it, it's like 150 pages. So I added like 100 pages. Like
how many comics is that gonna be? Issues?
3, because each one's like 40 to 50 pages. Yeah.
Oh shit.
But the whole story arc will be like 5 or 6 issues, and then hopefully. So did you see you on the last page?
I did it. So
this is one team. There'll be other teams. One's called the Boom Baps, which is like based. It's on.
Is this like a different?
That's the issue 2 cover, and these are like fake fucking things I made.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, that's you in the.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
You're in the Gate Crashers.
Oh shit, the Gate Crashers.
You guys are like more of.
Oh shit, I look like Dr. Freeze up in this motherfucker.
Well, you ever seen the old Spider-Man where they got the cartoon where like they got the Hydra Man? That's kind of like you, but you don't turn into water. You wanted to be like a water manipulator, so the water's like carrying you. You're real, and I had to draw you real small there.
Do I do tornadoes?
Well, like a water tornado, yeah, maybe.
Oh shit!
Because you guys are like on the rooftop.
Yo, peep this, peoples, at the Movie Rant Break. This shit's fucking dope. Not even just because I'm in it. Like, that's just, like, super cool. That shit is dope. You got the 01 on it.
So, like, you guys are, like, the third arc. The second arc's about these guys who are also, like, musicians locally. But they're more Corey's friends from, like, New Hampshire.
That are on my team or the other team?
On the other team. Your team's, like, totally made up.
Oh, swag. So I'm the only real person.
You're the only real person on that team.
Oh, that's dope. I fuck with
Actually, no. One guy is based off Robert Sheenan.
Who's that? Like a local motherfucker?
No. He's in movies.
Oh, he's an actor?
He's an actor.
Oh,
have you seen Umbrella Academy?
No, but I'm somewhat like a...
Did you ever see Misfits, the show? The British UK show? Oh, so good. You should see that. He's also like in... I wish I could think... So it's on sale.
Very cool.
Yeah, man.
We'll definitely have the links like all up on the.
You're also in the 0 issue, but I don't have a copy of that. It only exists digitally right now.
Oh shit!
So the goal is to like just like a Spotify. We have now a store, so that's our library. So now we just add to the fucking library, and then the more we're able to build, the more momentum and. Every time we bring someone back to like the ordering page, hopefully they buy Corey's got other projects. I'm trying to do a comic. So right now, one thing that like happens like every year, they have a thing called 24-hour comic day. And you go to a comic shop or wherever they do it, and you sit there and you hang out for 24 hours. They stay open. and you draw a comic as fast as you fucking can.
Oh, that's tight.
So I've done it a few times. I only ever got to like 12 pages because I'm trying to do too much. And but that kind of like put me in a mode where I think I could do. I'm trying to do a comic before 420. That's like about weed. So
Word.
and so just more shit to sell on that.
Well, if you get it done, we might just sneak in the Batman Returns shit and like let people know then. And
Yeah, but by 420.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If not, we can still do it before 420.
Yeah.
Maybe do like, I don't know, what day of the week is 420 fall on? We could just do an episode on that day. We should do that. That'd be fun.
It must be 16 is Sunday, 17 Monday, 18 Tuesday, 19
I'm gonna pull a calendar because I can't.
Thursday. I bet you it's Thursday, but we'll see.
It's a Sunday.
Damn. Shit.
It's on
I'm
Easter.
really bad at math. Is it?
You're bad at
right,
something.
right.
God damn. So it's on Easter. We should do an episode on 420. On
Yeah.
Easter.
Yeah.
Batman Returns with Batman.
Yeah.
That shit's sick though. I have notes. I'll tell you off air. No, but can I give input of like, oh, you should like regarding my character or no? Do you care if I have like a recommendation on my character?
Oh no,
Okay.
absolutely.
All right, I'll say it off air.
Okay.
No, that's sick. No, I'm not. I'm just like for just in general. Like, do I have? I wouldn't want to offend. Being like, yo, you should do this. I don't want to like step on your
The
toes.
only idea I had for you, other than like what we've already like, we made like a short 4-page story about you. I think I sent you the pages where you're just sitting at a diner table and this guy comes to tell you he doesn't have your money. So like you start like saying something to him and then he acts like he's not scared of you. So like, and you're sitting at a table full of glasses of water, but you know he doesn't know that that's like. So you summon Anonymous and John Smith out of the water.
turn up! That shit's fire.
So hopefully we'll put that out soon too. But that's gonna be kind of different. These are like our issues, but this one's gonna be more like a prose. They kind of do a thing called graphic novella, which I make one piece of art and Corey puts like it's almost like a novel. Like he does like One Up sits at your name's not One Up, but he'd be like he sits at the table waiting and like it's like a book.
Yeah.
More like a book.
This is really. I'm impressed. Honestly, I had high hopes, but I think that came out better than I thought it was.
So we finessed that for a while, and then like we sat with it and was good, and then so I've done issue 2. That's like 40 fucking pages, and I mean it's even better than I personally feel it's even better than that one. I'm doing issue 3, which is just like a huge brawl. So issue 2, so in this, the girl is a cop and she gets like wrapped up in the scientist, and the scientist like dispatches the freaks on missions, and like he dispatches these ones. So it's about this first one, like they're like, okay, this is the mission. That's how it ends. In the second one, it's the mission and the team forms and they take out like there's like, I drew a fight sequence with them and 50 guards. Like, so they're just like ripping through these guards, these human guards. And then at the end of issue 2, I'm just going to tell it all. Cause I mean, anybody that watches it till this point, I mean, issue 2, it ends them taking out all these 50 soldiers. Then these other superheroes show up and that's how it ends. So then issue 3 is them, a crazy brawl with somebody who's on the team with you. We introduce a character from your team in issue 2, the bear. There's like a bear that's on your team.
Oh shit.
His name is Bush Dog. He's an MMA fighter. So he's in the second one, or he is introduced in the second one, but in the third one, you show up with like a Wonder Woman type character.
Not the chick with the arms?
No.
What's her name again?
That
6 arms? She got like
I think her name's Lady Bird.
Yes, I think that sounds right.
I think it's it. I've been so like locked in on this first like arc that like I know we've planned out what comes later, but I forget because there's so much.
That's just so far. This shit is something I'd smoke weed and just read and just lie. Like that shit has me cracking up.
So,
it's just ridiculous.
So Corey's first script existed before I was like on it. So like we've even though I added like whatever I added, and what I added really was like it'd be cool if we took like an extra beat on this. Like there's a part where
development,
like, development. Like they're a serial killer's around. and like he was like, there's a bloody smiley face on the door. So like that was just like a panel. So I was like, that should be a whole page. That's like a beat. Like that should be so it was like little shit like that. But like once we get out of the first arc, it's gonna be stuff that him and I like came up with together, and it'll be cool. The arc that you guys are like introduced in, like, so like in the second one something happens, and then it gets to wherever it introduces you guys, and it flashes back to that, and the 60 or 50 guards that got like dismembered, they're collected by a guy that's kind of based off like P. Diddy. He's like, but they call him the mogul, and what he does is he runs like a internet thing where he's creating like, it's kind of like pit bull fights, like the equivalent of like we make these things and like we pit them against each other and they try to kill each other. So
sounds more like Michael Vick.
Yeah, well, he's visually based off P. Diddy kind of. You're not supposed to like him. He's a villain. He's a bad guy.
He sucks.
So he takes like the dismembered bodies and makes like a bunch of like cyborg fucking. You ever seen the movie Running Man with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yes.
So he makes a bunch of
that.
running. Yeah, I know. That's gonna be cool with Edgar Wright. That's kind of interesting.
I need to do more research. I don't know enough about it, but I saw they were doing that. But the original is phenomenal.
I believe it's Edgar Wright.
We can review that too.
Yeah. I love the original one, even though it's kind of like
so ridiculous. But it's like ridiculous. I love each adversary. It's just like they're just like character design. I'm like, who is the next one? And you're like, oh shit, another interesting, crazy adversary.
A fire guy.
Yeah. It's
you know what it reminded me of that I love too was, I don't know if you ever played it, but like Mega Man.
I did.
It's like, it's exactly that. It's like, here's Mega Man, and he just shoots energy balls, but then we got a fire robot, and then we got a grass robot, like
different things, like almost like Mortal Kombat type.
Yeah, kind of.
It was in that same vein of just like having notable, aesthetically like
a type.
Yeah.
We got a kung fu guy, and we got a street
fire,
boxer.
Ice guy. You got the super strong, like the electricity guy. It's like all the elements and shit. Where it's like, we'll shoot for 420. That comic is cool. Like on some real shit. I like.
By 420, I'll have some copies for you.
Yeah, no, I definitely want some physicals, and I'm gonna go cop the digital joints, and that's sick that it's out because we've talked about it for like 3 episodes. You and your comic.
Yeah, that's how long. So looking at like the only way I can like keep track of time is like when my pictures have like timestamps.
Oh, shit.
The ID. So when Corey and I first started developing it, it took me a year. It took us a year. And we developed like what happens over the course of the whole series. Like we know like everything. Yeah,
dude. To build a foundation for a great idea takes time.
Yeah,
it just does. So
and like I told, like we broke down the final arc, and we have no idea when that's going to happen. Like we'll see if I get there. And we were just talking about the other day, like, so we just put up the digital stuff, and we only sold like one. And Corey's like, I hope it like catches on. I was like, man, like, like I'm in it, like. It doesn't matter to me if we catches on at issue 10. Like we'll just like you gotta build it. Like,
it's more likely that'll happen. It's not gonna be like first issue. Like the first issue of any comic didn't probably do their best numbers.
These days too, like what tracks more is like the graphic novels. So we have to complete a story arc, and then we got a graphic novel out of like the first story arc, and that's what builds. And
then you could start doing like voice dubbed. Like pages and stuff.
That's what I told them.
That might get people in it.
Yeah.
Because they could just like watch it or like swipe 20 pages.
Well, I can take my art and run it through a thing that makes it like a 3D picture. So all of a sudden it takes the image and it looks like it's doing like a Scorsese like zoom pan out kind of thing. It like animates my art like a little bit. So
a little movement in it.
Yeah. So I was telling Corey, I was like, we just throw voices on that. Boom.
Yeah, I'll do voices for you. Yeah. 100%. Like,
well, man, like I said,
100%.
So the show's low key a continuation of the comic, but it's like a different. So in that world, once we set up the world, like the first season, I told Corey, I was like, the second season, we go hardcore into it. You're the water guy. We figure out how to do that shit real slick. I don't know
if I can do it. Like, I'm not an actor.
So we're gonna start making movies. You wouldn't want to be in a movie sometime? What if you just played true to yourself though?
I would try to if I was going to.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I would. Don't count me in on the acting. I mean, like, you never know.
So the original plan for that movie and the movie show, superhero one, it kind of aligned that we could do it in April. So for like real temporarily, it was planned to do in April. We knocked off, we locked in that time, whatever. But then we decided, it needed to build it a little more. And so we moved it to September. So we still had this April time locked in. So alternative to that, we're also doing like we're doing a gangster like short film that April locked in date. So then I started writing a poker movie called Flush. And it's our take on like a Quentin Tarantino, Steven Soderbergh type, joint. You ever see Four Brothers with like Mark Wahlberg? Kind of like that kind of vibe, and it's like a bottle episode where it all happens at a poker table. You never leave the poker table, and there's the dealer and then 4 players. And what happens is, movie starts, and we're shooting. So I wrote the script. When you like read about screenwriting, one page is like 1 minute of film based on the talking and then like the scene building. You kind of have to, the setup kind of. So I'm shooting for like a 40-minute movie. And I'm good. And like the people I have involved are really good freestyle rappers and the couple actors that do improv. So I am writing a script. We have an outline. We're talking about it. But on the day, I'm like, whatever you guys come up with, like we film it. The 30-minute movie becomes an hour and a half because you guys did some fucking weird tangent of a story that added to like whatever. So the story is there's a guy that busts. There's 4 people playing. The guy busts, leaves. A new guy comes in, but it's an assassin. He's there to kill a police informant, but he doesn't know who the police informant is. He just knows that they're at the card game. So he's like trying to figure out people's tells and figure out who the informant is in like a couple hands. He figures something out. Maybe he doesn't say who he thinks it is, but he gets up to kill the person, and then the dealer like shoots him dead. And it's like, because it's like a no violence rule, like, parlay.
So there's a cop that swaps with a dude that loses at a table.
No, so say like it's like a casino, but it's like a private casino. So somebody like busts, like a player right at the beginning. A guy busts.
Pause.
And he leaves. And then so that chair opens up, and then like a new player comes in, but that player is an assassin, and he's there because he's there on like a hit from somebody.
Okay.
Somebody's a police informant. They aren't sure who, but they knew that like after they went to the police station, they were coming to this card game. So
it's like a mystery type.
Yeah, kind of, but
like
with like purposely trying to like have a Quentin Tarantino vibe.
So like a whodunit.
You ever seen Hateful Eight? I think that's kind of like.
Well, it's more or less like a what do you call it? Like a whodunit.
Yeah.
Like in one setting at one table, the character is trying to figure out with the audience who the culprit is.
In TV, they call it like a bottle episode, where it's just like it's almost like a one act play. It's like they just set up the one background, and everything they do happens in front of this.
Which is cool. I like that idea, and I'm just saying that like the audience will be trying to figure out who
exactly.
Like,
yeah,
it's like unfolding with the assassin who it is, and he's gonna like eventually shoot the person that he deems who it is, and the audience might be misdirected in the surprise, but then you clip to like show how it is him or something.
Mm-hmm. I wasn't sure if we actually reveal. Like I have no real answer, but like the whole thing was like I did a timeline. Like, okay, guy comes in, he plays one hand where he's cool. Second hand he's not so cool. Third hand he reveals he's an assassin. Fourth hand he goes in on one guy to like expose his tells. Next hand he does the next guy. Next hand he does the next guy. Next hand is when he's like, I figured it out, and I'm gonna fucking kill you now. And that's like.
It would be interesting to see how it's translated.
Yeah. And what these guys can do, like I truly believe, because we're so everybody that's involved in that is somewhat involved in the superhero movie. So collaborating on ideas for that movie was like insane. We had like a plethora of ideas. It was like crazy that we had to like cut so much of like one guy was like, okay, like so he's like, we have a guy cast as the villain. So I'm telling him, like, okay, episode 4, that's going to be your episode. We flash back to you. We focus in on you, all this. Okay, yeah, meeting over, good night. Next day, he's like, I have a script for episode 4. I wrote it all. And it's like, shit, man. Like, that's not even his role. Like, he's just like, I have the
That's
whole
cool.
thing. Yeah, it's cool. I was like, we'll take it. What we can use, we'll use every goddamn bit of it. Like,
That's good when you get people that are trying to like get after it.
yeah,
And,
like
take part.
ambitious. Like, he's just like,
Passionate.
yeah. I was like, I'm open to whatever your ideas are, man. Like, whatever. You,
That's tight.
because then it's more convincing. Like, if it's the improv, it's like I almost have more confidence that my friend could improv better than he could make a script believable.
I would.
But it's also
that.
wild to like be developing something and being like, we're gonna go on improv, kind of like we're just gonna vibe this out and like
See if something happens. If not, oh well.
yeah. But they also are really good freestylers, all of them, most of them, or they're skilled at improv. So should be.
I look forward to seeing what happens.
Yeah, me too.
Back to Batman. Comic Fire experiments. Check in the descriptions and what have you.
Okay, I'll send you the link to our site.
100%. 100%. I'll be copying a copy digitally and physically.
I'll clip from the show and promote. Post the clips.
Yeah, I'll clip it for you. I'll send you some shit so you can have to like post about your comics.
Nice, man.
Raise awareness.
Nice.
All right, so let's wrap it up. What's the reception? Okay, well, I want to know your score, but the IMDb gave it a 7.5 out of 10, and Rotten Tomatoes is 77%.
I think that's crazy low.
I mean, I agree it's low. What would you give Batman for a score?
Out of 10? Maybe,
You know the drill. It's to the 10, 1 to 10 to the 10th place.
I don't. What did I give the? Do you know? You have my Nolan scores on here?
I think I do. Just keep talking.
I think 70 or whatever the first one was 7.5. That is ridiculously low.
I mean, keep in mind this also is people going back to review the movies.
Yeah.
So it's not
Yeah.
like they had IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes at that time. So the scores, there's usually disparity from where it really should be at because it didn't have the rating shit at that time.
I wonder how people like. I think I was 5 years old when it came out. I probably saw it at 5 or 6. I wonder how people received the scene where they're playing the Prince song and they're like fucking up the paintings. Like, was that like a Tobey Maguire situation where he dances in the third movie and it was just looked at like, what the fuck is this part?
I don't think so. That part's sick. The Tobey Maguire shit when he's like the piano and shit.
Yeah, when he's
That's just whack.
yeah, and he's doing
That's
like
just
the
uncool. Jack Nicholson was cool top to bottom. Let's get that very clear.
Yeah.
Your Batman. So Batman Begins. I gave it a 7.9. You gave it a 7. The Dark Knight. I gave it 10. You gave it 9. The Dark Knight Rises. I gave it 9.3. You gave it an 8.
Well, I'd say I'd give it a 9.1
Oh shit. Okay, I fuck with that.
because I feel like it does stimulate me more than Dark Knight.
Pause.
But
So I think Nichols, the performances are just stellar.
yeah,
I think
and
that's
like
what it comes down
yeah,
to.
it's so polarizing different now. See, what's funny is like that came out before Heath Ledger, but now like you watch it post Heath Ledger, and it's like it is you appreciate it more for its take, like what it offers, kind of like
100%. And I wonder what Heath Ledger praised Nicholson's performance. I wonder if Nicholson, I haven't seen how he felt about the performance, or if he's like, I don't care.
I think he did. I do think he put out, or somehow someone asked him. He did have a story about them touching base about it.
We should look into it. I should have checked it out, but I'm kind of curious to see if he's like, I could see how he would be indifferent, kind of like how Harrison Ford is with his shit. Like if Nicholson's like, I just did a character.
It is his wildest performance, where like he seems
wild.
like such like a reserved, serious kind of.
He always is kind of churn.
Yeah.
Like Nicholson's
Yeah,
dope. I think Nicholson's one of the best actors of all time.
Yeah.
This is one of his best
Stephen
roles.
Baldwin called him the best actor of all time.
Except.
Yeah.
Nicholson's dope. Shout out to Jack Nicholson. He's a fucking gangster. So you're giving Batman the 1989 joint 9.1. I'm going to hit it with an 8.6. And like I said, I think the Nolan films and these Tim Burton Batman films run parallel. It's Nolan films as a whole, I think, are better, but there's a lot more resources and technology that kind of assisted and the 89 one paved the way, and the performances are they're as good or better than the Nolan performances. So 8.6, which I think is reasonable. Like I'm not gonna be like it's a 10. Like I think even for that time they could have done even better, maybe, and I'm not saying they should have, but the movie's not how a film ages is relevant to me, and like is a Batman movie, and like I don't know, it's sick. It's 8.6, I think is reasonable. 9.1 is fine. If you want to give it a 10, that's fine. For me, that's not the case. But yeah, is there anything you want to add about this film?
No.
What? Well, Lee J. Giles, thank you for being on this episode.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
For sure.
Look forward to the next one.
420?
Whatever that surprise that show brings.
Maybe Batman will show up.
Maybe. If we put a signal out.
Let's put a bad signal out.
Yeah.
We'll do it. Okay, so Lee's comic, The Experiments, digital download link will be in the description. Look out for the physical.
Now.
What's that?
On sale now.
On sale now. What's it cost?
Well, we started at $4.99, which is kind of expensive for a digital. But maybe it was $3.99. But we switched it to a pay what you want. So
Oh shit! Like $5 still is like, come on! Like
I'd rather
everybody go spend go give this man a couple dollars. Like what the fuck? Come on.
It's called angrysquirrel.com.
Yeah, the shit will be in the description.
Yeah, it'll be down there. But it's Corey's company. Corey started it with a guy. They worked on it it gestated within them for like 4 or 5 years. This other guy, he ended up passing away, the Corey's partner. So now it's kind of like we're gonna,
build it back up,
build it out, and like I said, it'll be a place where it's just like you want to buy this stuff, like
there's a bunch of comic shit.
Here's the link, like
that's the link.
And Corey set it all up because I could never set it up myself. So.
Shout out to Corey.
Yeah, Corey's awesome. He's having a baby very soon.
Shout out to him.
He's busy
baby.
as hell.
Oh, turn up. Okay.
We work him to the bone.
Damn. All right, so go buy the comic. It's dope. And for a movie score, Lee is hitting it with a 9.1. Your host hitting it with an 8.6. Thank you for being on the show.
Yeah, thanks, man.
That's the episode over Batman, the 1989 one. And that's everything over here at the Movie Rant Break today, everybody. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I hope this episode was everything you hoped for and more. Okay? I really hope that. And if not, I'm sorry. I'll try better next time. But
on 420.
On 420, maybe. We'll try to... because we'll film it on 420 and then release technically later.
If we're doing a 420 show...
I'll try to drop it on 421.
All right. We'll have to get cooked with Batman.
Dude. Yeah. But yeah.
You know what I wanted to do in relation to costume? I wanted to, 2 minutes into the thing, or like maybe 10 minutes, pull out glasses and a hat just like that and put it on.
For what?
Just to see what your response.
You're done. You're done. You're done. That's my response. You're done. All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in this episode. I'll see you next episode. I love everybody. See ya.
Good night.